And our first one tonight, we're going to start off with the Florida Dream Center and Gary Webb.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Gary. Take it
Mhm.
away.
Okay. Well, thanks for the opportunity. I'm glad to have the opportunity to share with you tonight a little bit about what we get to do at the Dream Center. Go ahead and click the slide, or do I have control of that? No. Now that's me and Zelda. The next slide gives us our mission and our vision. Uh, where our vision is an empowered community where neighbors help neighbors. Um, And then the next slide just gives us kind of an overview of some of the a high view of some of the numbers. We distributed over 1.8 million pounds of food last year in Pinellas County. So we get to move a lot of food and feed a lot of people. Assisted over 16,000 that's a lot of probably mostly case management right there assists. And then in career services with workforce, we had 190 career services. So we are a nonprofit, the Florida Dream Center, and we started as a small pantry, and today we're a mobile pantry on the weekends, and then a food bank where we get to support the larger part of Pinellas County and different church pantries and assisted living facilities, and we get to help with food all over the county. That's where that 1,000,008 comes from. So we've got four programs that I'm going to talk about tonight, and I'll just kind of briefly give you a little bit on each one, and that'll be the next slide. Is Adopt a Block, which is our signature program. That's where we go out in the community, and we'll go a little deeper in that in a minute. Our mobile food bank, resident advocacy, and then the work readiness training, which the T-shirt shop is a part of that work readiness training. So we've kind of grown with our clients as we start to fill those basic needs of food and clothing and things like that. And then we grew and added the resident advocacy, and so we could connect people with services to help, whether it's ID or blue cards or food stamps or addiction services or whatever it is. And then once those needs are met, then it's time to help folks get to a place of self-sufficiency. So that's where the work readiness training program come from. So we'll talk more about that as we get there. But our adopt a block on the next slide gives us there's some pictures of us out serving in the community. So that's what we go out on Saturday morning, and we have to our distribution sites. We take food and hygiene, and you can click slide clothing, and we take to our distribution sites. We also have a work crew that goes out. So if we've got people within Lillman that have can't take care of their yard, if we help with some of the veterans and elderly who can't take care of their yard, or if they have um, issues with, if they need paint on fascia or soffit or need a gate fixed, we work real closely with code enforcement. And if code enforcement comes across somebody that they think that they can't take care of the issues that's at hand, and they think we can, a lot of times they'll call us and see if we can help the client with that. And so we get an opportunity to do that quite often. So especially with the hurricane that we just had, we're still cutting up trees in people's backyards and stacking wood. So there were a lot of people with a lot of trees in their yard. They didn't know what to do with this season. So we've been doing a lot of that. We also remove a lot of the debris in the area. So we kind of bridge the gap for a lot of those folks. And then I mentioned the mobile food bank. So that is where we go out on Saturday to our sites, and we take the food, the hygiene, the whole bit. We take one van we fill up with food and for those, or boxes of food for those that are homebound and can't get out, can't get to our sites. We've got a van that we load up that goes out to serve those who are like living in little hotels or um, under the bridge and park benches in some cases and don't have access to food and can't get to one of our sites. So we're able to take some ready to eat food out and help those folks. And when that goes out, we also take hygiene kits and clothing and the whole bit to help with that. So with that with the mobile food bank, we've got the three spots, and that's was part of the 1.8 million pounds of food that we talked about. And we're one of the largest, I think the fourth largest food bank in Pinellas County, so we move a lot of food. We're also an active member in VOAD, which is Volunteers of Organizations Active in Disaster. So I think Colette's on this call. Colette and I loaded up vans the day after the hurricane and for weeks after that with food and delivered food to people who were struggling and didn't have refrigeration and didn't have a way to keep food. So we delivered food out in the community every day with that. The next program for resident advocacy, that's hard for me to say. I like to say case management. And with that, we assist people with whatever. Honestly, we've got a list of things on the slide that we assist with. We don't we try not to put ourselves in a box that we only do this or don't do that. Colette brings folks in and they between them they identify what challenges, what barriers are preventing them from succeeding to the level that they need to succeed, and everybody's at a different place. So they identify that, and then together, build a program to tackle those barriers and those challenges to try to move to the next step. So whether it's something we can help with directly or whether we can connect them with another resource that is doing it, uh, that's our goal is to advance them to the next step. So. And most of our clients are pretty high risk clients. Well, many are homeless, and we just try to help them transition through that growth and overcome the setbacks. So Colette helps with the food stamps, Medicaid, Social Security, disability, vocational rehab, mental health services, substance, legal aid, you name it. Like I said, whatever it is, we try not to put ourselves in a box. So if there's whatever it is that's preventing someone from succeeding, we try to remove those barriers or help them remove the barriers. So, and once we can kind of get some of that taken care of, then we're ready for some training and sustainability, right? Getting to work. So that's how our work readiness training was born. That's the next step. So we're we have a national accreditation with NCCER where we can teach core construction and some carpentry, a level one. It's a basically carpentry. I think we gave out almost 200 nationally recognized certifications last year. We do forklift training that is results in a 3-year OSHA certification, an OSHA license. And I tell everyone that goes through that this is probably the hardest place to attain your forklift license. We've got a trainer that believes that the training should be more difficult than what you find on your first job. So folks coming out of there, they may not be the most experienced, but when they come out of that program, they know how to operate it safely and they can operate it without hurting themselves or someone else. And we're having great success with that with some of the places where we've been placing people. So um, and like I said, most of our clients, most of our clients that come through there are facing or either coming out of homelessness or come re-entering the community or just generational poverty and dysfunction. Most of them have some very serious barriers and challenges, and that's how we have grown from that basic filling that need of food and clothing through the case management, and now an opportunity for so for work that can actually sustain themselves and families. We do that by working with other nonprofits. So I saw PERC was going to be speaking later. We've collaborated with PERC and Operation New Hope West Care. So we like to collaborate with other nonprofits in the area that are doing some of the along the same lines, so we can work together and not recreate the wheel, but work together where and get folks working again. That's really the goal. So part of our workforce training is also the t-shirt shop. So we're doing silk screen and embroidery now for t-shirts, hats, all that good stuff. So and we're taking orders. The hurricane blew the roof off of our first place we were operating out of, so we're kind of um, we have relocated. So we've got some of it at our office, and we do some of the embroidery somewhere else. But we are taking orders again and producing the shirts and hats and things like that. And everything that comes in from that's actually our first social enterprise. All the money that comes in from our t-shirt shop goes not just back to the Dream Center, but goes specifically back to workforce training program. We're building that part of the program in to be like a second chance opportunity, like an internship to run people through. So if we've got folks that maybe have been on the street or re-entering that um, are ready to go back to work, but maybe they still need help with some of the soft skills and things before they enter the workforce. That gives us a chance to work even more closely and longer with folks to get them prepared so they can enter the workforce. So we're excited about where that's going as well. And we'd like to do your t-shirts. So remember us when you're making t-shirts or hat orders. We want to be a part of that. So our last slide just says volunteers for our volunteers. We logged 15,000 volunteer hours last year to get through this. So it takes we've got a small staff and we're going a lot of different directions and doing a lot of things, but it takes a lot of volunteer help to make that happen. So if if you're part of an organization or a group or a church that wants to come out and serve someday, whether it's in our adopt block program or in the food pantry or whatever, we would absolutely love to entertain that. So we like to bring in groups and put together projects and stuff to work on. So do we have any questions?
Gary, this is Teresa Jones. Just a quick question.
Hi,
Do
Teresa?
you, Hi. What's your service area? Are you limited to primarily are you throughout Pinellas County, or or is there a specific region? I know you mentioned Lilman, is that but I know you also do your food pantry in Tarpon, so is it throughout Pinellas County?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you've asked that. So, when it comes to our food and our mobile food bank, I'm sorry, the food bank, we serve pretty much all of Pinellas County. We deliver food St. Pete up to North Clearwater for sure. Maybe not north of Clearwater. Now for our adopt a block program where we're going out and we're mowing yards and we're taking the food and stuff like that to our distribution sites, that's primarily in the unincorporated Lealman area, where our work crews go as well. But when it comes to case management or food, the workforce training program, we're not restricted to any zip code or area in that sense. Typically, now sometimes our collaborative partner who's bringing in classes may be restricted to a zip code, but we are not. And if somebody shows up hungry, we don't really care where they live, so we're going to take care of them.
Yeah, Gary, I got a question. Is it any fees for the work readiness program for the students? Do they need, is there any fees for those particular programs?
So I guess the short answer is yes, there's a cost to it. We are working to have some scholarship available for community residents. And we've been doing that this season for sure for forklift. We've been helping people get in. And then for the bigger classes and for the NCCER, there's we collaborate with partners that have the vocational resources so they can filter through those programs, and then the scholarships that we're building. We're working with some local actually um, local business folks to make sure that even in the classes that we bring in that we can have at least a few spots available for those that for the community clients that are just coming out of homelessness and that really need that extra help. So that's something we're actively working on to make more of those spaces available.
The reason I asked because we just hired a Metropolitan Ministry, a employment educational case manager. So, do you mind if I kind of just give him your information and y'all can kind of talk?
Would
He
love
may
that.
be able to
Absolutely.
provide some assistance. Okay, all right, we'll do.
No, we absolutely, please.
Oh, I love this, making connections.
Yes,
Um,
that's what it's about, right?
yes, and we have one question in the chat, and then we're going to move on to the next presentation. Rachel Adams asks, does work readiness assist with resume writing?
Man, you guys are asking good questions because it's stuff I forgot to say. So thank you again. So with that work readiness, of course, we have the classes, but we also help with resume writing, do some mock interviews. We definitely try to prep people for interviews. We help with the job search and we help with job placement as well. And on the backside of that job placement, we try to stay in touch and follow up with both the employers and the employee as well, so we can come along beside and continue to offer services where they're needed.
Great. Thank you so much, Gary. Everyone else, if you have any more questions for Gary and workforce readiness that the Florida Dreams Center provides, please put it in the Q&A, which you can find at the bottom of your Zoom screen.